Hey guys, welcome to the Simplify Your Life podcast. It's Coach Simona, and I'm glad you decided to tune in. What's up, everyone? In today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about how to stand your ground and learn how to speak up for yourself. Now, where do we begin when it comes to tackling such a big topic? For me personally, standing your ground is not about being aggressive or rude. It's more about saying, hey, here's where I stand, this is my boundary, and I need you to respect that. When you talk about setting healthy boundaries and speaking up for yourself, we often assume that it has to do with putting your foot down and being unpleasant. But the truth is that the opposite of being a people pleaser is actually being confident and assertive. So, how can you stand your ground in a conversation and feel more respected as a result? My first tip is to know what you want. This seems obvious, but knowing what you want is not as simple as it sounds. Sometimes you may be aware of your needs and wants, but feel obligated to fit into a role as a mother, daughter, or spouse. There's nothing wrong with these roles as long as you stay true to yourself. But there comes a time when knowing what you want becomes a little bit blurry, when you're too enmeshed with the people you care about. So how do you figure out what you want in a quick and efficient way? By knowing what your personal core values are. Your values are a set of principles that can guide you when you need to make decisions in life. For example, if one of your top personal values is freedom, you will likely want to work for yourself, so you don't feel trapped in the 9-to-5 grind. Or maybe freedom to you means spending more time alone than with your partner and friends. That's the beauty of it. You and I may have similar core values, but they could mean different things to each one of us. If you want to find out what your core values are, I've made a free downloadable cheat sheet with the top 98 values to choose from. If you want to get instant access, just click the first link in the description box below or visit bit.ly/98values. Tip number 2. Don't fall into the trap of emotional manipulation. Many people have a problem asserting themselves because they fall victim to emotional manipulators. Anyone who's trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do is essentially manipulating you. I've already dedicated an entire podcast episode on this topic, so if you want to dive deeper into it, just listen to episode 106 next. I will link it below. My quick tip on disarming emotional manipulators is to observe their body language. Their words may sound true, but their bodies never lie. I actually learned a lot about body language from Joe Navarro's book called What Everybody Is Saying. I will also link it below if you want to check it out. My next tip is to develop self-respect. If you're afraid to speak up for yourself, that's a sign you respect other people's opinions of you more than your opinion of yourself. When you stand your ground, you're showing others that you won't let them push you around, and you're also proving to yourself that you can be trusted. But how do you develop self-respect? The first thing you can do is stop people-pleasing. Easier said than done, right? The good news is you don't need to become assertive overnight. You simply have to start respecting your opinion and understand that your worth does not depend on how other people react to you. Don't let others determine your value. You're not an object. Your value is inherent. You're not worth less or more than anyone else on this planet. And if you don't speak up for yourself, who else is going to do that for you? So my hot tip when it comes to developing self-respect is to listen to your gut. Here's a quick example of how to do that. Let's say your best friend wants you to go shopping with her, but you feel like staying at home today. She's been down lately after she broke up with her boyfriend, and you feel she could use a distraction, but you really don't want to go. You know her well enough to be aware that she would probably get a little mad that you didn't go out with her, and you don't want to hurt her feelings. But you know that you'd rather stay at home today and not see anyone. So how can you stand your ground in this situation without being rude? You could say something like, I would love to come with you today, but I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'd rather stay at home. Can you get a rain check? In this way, you're not only speaking up for yourself, but you're also giving an alternative solution to the problem. If she doesn't want to postpone the shopping, she can always call someone else. You don't need to go with her if you don't feel like it. Simple as that. Which actually brings me to my next point. Learn how to say no without feeling guilty. If you're having problems standing your ground, you're probably feeling guilty most of the time. So it's important to figure out where this guilt is coming from. Do you have too high expectations towards yourself? Are you afraid other people would judge you and see you as a bad person if you don't comply with their wishes? Does this have something to do with someone in your family who made you feel worthless or shamed you for wanting different things than they did? Many people internalize from a very young age the idea that standing up for themselves would upset their parents. Not being able to stand your ground always has a deeper root cause. So if you want to dive deeper into this topic, I made a video on how to say no without feeling guilty on my YouTube channel. So you can watch it at youtube.com/Coach Simona. Now, I know that standing your ground is not something that happens overnight. It's a process that will require your dedication and hard work. You need to let go of a lot of emotional baggage and work through your negative thought patterns. So I encourage you first to be very clear about your core values and take it from there. Download your free cheat sheet at bit.ly/98values. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on my weekly podcast episodes. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one.